If you think Maruti Suzuki and Toyota are making you play a game of spot the differences with the Glanza, you may be right. Or you may not. We bring you 5 things you need to know about the Toyota Glanza. So for a lot of you out there, that's a very familiar shape. But how do you tell a Glanza from a Baleno? Well, apart from the obvious Toyota logo on the front, this grille is new with these 2 large chrome slats. And on the boot lid, there's a Glanza badge, a Toyota badge, and a V or a G badge for the variants. Apart from that, the car looks identical to the Baleno, right down to the alloy design as well. So on the inside, there's a nice big Toyota badge on the steering wheel, and when you switch the car on, you get a Toyota welcome screen as well on the infotainment system. So the Glanza comes in 2 variants, the V and the G. The V corresponds with the Alpha variant of the Maruti Baleno and it matches it feature to feature. And we have with us today the G variant of the Glanza, and that corresponds with the Zeta variant of the Maruti Baleno feature to feature. And the reason we have the G variant is because it's only the G variant with a manual transmission that gets the new smart hybrid equipped 1.2 litre dual jet VVT engine. So when it comes to the fit and finish of all the materials, the plastics, the caps in the panels, the buttons, the feel, everything is exactly the same as what you'll get in the Maruti Suzuki Baleno. So when it comes to Toyota's lineup, it's a clear step up in luxury over cars like the Leva and the Etios, but not quite up to the levels that you'd expect from, say, an Altis or even the Yaris for that matter. Stepping into the rear, and we come to what has always been one of the Baleno and now the Glanza's strong points, and that is legroom in the rear. I'm 5'10" and I can literally stretch my legs out and I still have room here. Headroom is fairly adequate as well, and there's just enough room here to squeeze in 3 in a pinch. But there are some features we'd like to have seen added to the Glanza, like a drop-down armrest and an AC vent, and these are features that are missing in the Baleno as well. So what do you get then? The list of features, identical to the list on the Baleno Zeta variant, includes touchscreen infotainment with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, smartphone-based navigation, 6-speaker sound setup, climate control, auto-folding ORVMs, push-button start, keyless entry, and 16-inch alloys. When compared to the V variant, the G misses out on a few features. So there's no leather-wrapped steering, no vanity mirror and lamp on the driver's side, no reverse parking camera, no auto headlamps, no UV protect coating on the windows, and you don't get DRLs, but you do get similar position lamps. And there's also no follow me home headlamps. And 2, that's a new engine. It's a variant of the K series engine, and at 90 horsepower it makes 7 more horsepower than the variant that came before it. It also makes the same torque, 130 Newton meters, but 200 RPM higher than before. This is paired with an integrated starter generator with a lithium-ion battery, or what Maruti calls the smart hybrid system. It's the same mild hybrid system we've experienced in other Maruti cars like the S-Cross and the Ciaz. And in the Glanza, this G variant in the manual transmission is the only car that gets it. What's more, it's priced very attractively. But we'll get into that later. Before that, let's take a spin in it. So we're on the move now, and that BS6 tune engine stays nice and refined. So it's quiet in the cabin and there's no vibration creeping in as well. Power delivery is also nice and linear, and there's a nice infographic on the driver's information display that tells you when the electric motor is kicking in. It's a very mild assistance though, and mostly kicks in in load situations, say like climbing up a slight slope or climbing up a flyover, and it recharges when you get off the pedal. That new engine is quite responsive too, but it's not really exciting to drive, and that's down to this, the gearbox. It's got very widely spaced tall ratios, and that means there's not that much drive when you get on the gas pedal, and so you need to stay in low gears, say second in the city and third and fourth on the highway for overtakes. But the flip side to that tall gearing, which combines with the mild hybrid system and the BS6 tuning, is incredible mileage. And in our tests, we managed 24 kilometers per litre on the highway and 17 kilometers per litre in the city. Yes, it's a petrol, but shh, don't tell it. I don't think it knows that yet. So the Glanza really is a city slicker. The steering's nice and light, as is the clutch, and the gears slot in quite nicely if you don't rush them too much. but where it really excels is in its ride quality. So when it comes to handling bad roads, both the movement in the cabin and the noise from the suspension is nicely controlled. But when you start to push the pace in the Glanza, it's not quite so exciting. Body roll starts to creep into the equation, and when you're braking hard and if you're not in a straight line, the tail starts to feel just a little light. It's just a feeling though, but it doesn't quite inspire the enthusiast. Drive it in a sedate manner though, and you'll have no complaints at all. So number 4, let's answer a few FAQs. Is the quality any different? Well, no. Both the Toyota Glanza and the Maruti Suzuki Baleno are exactly the same. Can I get my Toyota Glanza serviced in a Maruti Suzuki service center? Well, unfortunately not. No. Your Toyota Glanza has to be serviced only in a Toyota service center, and a Maruti Suzuki Baleno can only be serviced in Maruti Suzuki service centers. And lastly, will I get the same warranty I would as with a Maruti Suzuki Baleno? Well, that one's a little different. So with the Toyota Glanza here, you get a 3-year, 1 lakh kilometer warranty out of the box, whereas Maruti only cover you for 2 years and 40,000 kilometers. So there's quite a big difference there. Both companies though will allow you to extend that out to 5 years, but Maruti will only cover 1 lakh kilometers after that, whereas Toyota will still cover you for 2.2 lakh kilometers on the clocks. And so now on to the pricing. And this G variant manual is priced at Rs 7.22 lakh. And in contrast to the rest of the variants, which are priced on par with similar Maruti Suzuki variants, it's actually cheaper by a whole 65,000 rupees. But this is an introductory price, and so we expect a revision fairly soon. In addition to competing with its twin, the Toyota Glanza competes with the Hyundai i20, Honda's Jazz, Volkswagen's Polo, and the upcoming Tata Altroz. So the Glanza finally adds a premium hatch to Toyota's lineup. It's nicely loaded with features, and the space on offer makes it a proper family car. Yes, there are no diesels on offer, but the petrols are impressively efficient. Does all this mean that basically you're buying the same car and the badge on the boot doesn't matter? Well, not quite. So Maruti does have the strongest service network out there, and the Baleno comes under the Nexa banner, and as we know from experience, that's a very good thing. Toyota, on the other hand, are no slouches when it comes to service either. There's also the benefit of that longer warranty period. So they both have strong value propositions for either brand. But if your budget lands you on this, the G variant with a manual transmission, then the Toyota Glanza, which is cheaper by 65,000 to the corresponding Maruti Baleno, is clearly the smarter choice.